the fragrance of its importance, considering that we are living pre-electoral season?
Mabel, the topic is very paramount based on time and the necessity of the issue, the voters' card. But I have so many worries. I am in a dilemma because in the context where we find ourselves, I might be thinking the voters' card will not have the voice as it is in the topic. But I know the voters' card have been speaking elsewhere, and the voters' card, I will just quote Senegal. I think election equally has proven something that we Cameroonians think the idea of voters' apathy, we should shun it to the greatest height. We should shun it with all powers because we need a change. I am talking as a youth and as somebody who is following politics in Cameroon and Africa. I want to say the atmosphere, the political atmosphere in Cameroon has not favored voting or election per se. But I think what is always constant, as people will say, is change. I think the 2025 voters card, that is why we are calling on Cameroonians, I will not say youth, Cameroonians, to vote massively and to shun voters' apathy. So the topic is relevant and there's need for us to talk and throw more light for the importance of this.
Now, when you talk about the importance of a voters' card, why does it occur to many that the youth in this case are the target of this information?
Maybe the youths form, I think, the majority of the population of Cameroon. And I think if the youth come to the consciousness that they have to take the bull by the horn, power has never been given. Power has always been taken. So we are calling on Cameroonian youth, like if you see clergies are calling on people, and the national president for the Episcopal Conference in his outing made it clear that it is very normal and very necessary. It is paramount for Cameroonians to get engaged, get registered in all the registration centers, and make sure they have their voters card. And not only to have this voter card, express this civil responsibility, which is their right to make their voice heard. We have been talking. Now it's time for action. Let's get into action by getting registered and having our voters card, Cameroonian youth, and even the aging population. It is our turn.
Thank you so much. It is our turn, and we are pleased to have you mentioned, some wonderful analogy vis-a-vis other African countries. We also have a Baobab on set who has lots of feathers on his cap. He is at one point a clergyman, and on the other side he has a lot of counseling avenues to him. And not just that, when one sees Dr. Christian Bear, you know that you have a socio-political analyst, and his voice resonates a lot of strength, and that is why each time we have him on the panel, we have lots of youth who are interested by the way they give their comments and the appraisals that they give him on the podium. You're very much welcome, Doctor, and it's great, always a delight to have you on the panel.
Well, thank you very much, Mabel, for inviting me. When you called me that today you are inviting me a program, I was on my way from Bamenda for my counseling school, and I thought it was that I cannot tender an invitation connecting with the issue that is at hand, which is very, very important. There are some topics that will look at it like not relevant, but it's what the people are really dying, and we are using it as a card to manipulate the people. And the people need to understand what that particular name, voters card, really means to them. It is a card that defines your future, defines a nation, and defines a country that wants to emerge. And voters card is not just a card that you look at it like somebody who is just going to vote in a small local election, but you are changing and making you are predestining the nation to become what you want to become through your voters card. But it's very important. But rather unfortunate, we need to find out if this voter card really reflects what they need, they're supposed to reflect, and if the voters cards can really bring the change that we are clamoring for all the while. Because we, as my other panelists still said, that there's one thing that is common, is change. And I believe that is a political slogan in our country in particular, that I still believe that to now is like a slogan of manipulation, because truly the change will never come. It's just like what they will say, that the youth are the leader of tomorrow, but we discover that the ancestors, they are still on seat. And now we think, how can the leaders become the leader of tomorrow when the ancestors are still there on there and they don't want to hand over the ancestral back to the youth? So that is the challenge that we have. And we still believe that Cameroon the youth need to emerge and to have a different mindset, to make sure that they give their country the political landscape that they deserve, to make sure that Cameroonians will not feel, like backward as the world is concerned, or feel like they are not able to enjoy what is theirs in their own country. Yes, and run, because if you look at Cameroon, many youths are running out of the country. Cameroon is one of the countries in Africa, in Central Africa, that most youths are going out of the country. It's why? Because the political turmoil is not, the climate is not the best, the structure, the GDP is not the best, and the leaders are, if we look at it chronologically, sociologically, politically, they don't love their country. It's like they hate their country, they don't have the little with passion.
Don't you think that you're going to be contradicting yourself if you say that the political atmosphere is not conducive, and then the youth are still living because they don't love their country? So
no, I mean, not the youth. I said the leaders.
Okay.
Those that are leading don't love their country.
Okay.
Don't love their country in the sense that they make the atmosphere very, very hard for the youth to live. So the youth are living, they are happy because the ancestors continue to remain ancestral shit, and then the youth go where they are going. And it is bad, because in a good country that we want leadership, to take a battle of command and a change, we need that change. The change needs to be on networking. The elders, they need to know that they have to transit they make a transition, of leadership to the youth, so that, and that should be based on their leadership skills and talents and the wisdom that they have in the leadership, that the youth can look at the leadership and also have that anxiety, that love to see that the way my leaders are ruling the country, I want to rule like them, or I want to do something more better, because they have shown us a lot of goodwill, when it comes to Cameroon leadership. But we don't see it. All what we see a lot of challenging leadership. For example, how can we talk about leadership in Fako? You are voting to who? Look at the road alone. Look how the road is very bad in this state. And we discover that most political analysts will come and give you all types of promises when it comes to election year, and they will tell you all types of fine story. But after the election have passed, what
is that the manifesto, or way beyond the manifesto?
It's way beyond the manifesto, because the promises is supposed to be a vision. You see, most countries, like for example, like America, they come to give you their vision. Any person come to tell you his vision. That I will stop abortion, I will do this, and the country voted based on that. That vote is cast based on that fact. Got the point now? And after that, they expect you to execute. They wanted to see you. For example, when Trump came, he said he wanted to be a war between Mexico. You saw him doing the bidding of the war. You got the point now, because that's a promise. But in Cameroon, there's no promises they give you, and even they promise you, that is just for a time being. After election, nothing is done. And we Cameroonians, we need to first of all hold our voter card and ask ourselves question: what is this voter card going to do to me? Is it going to change this country per se? Because we see even leaders of the clergy, campaigning for people to go and register. But sometimes I ask them, so they know that the church is not a political scene. So I don't think that it is important for you to start to make such a statement, because that is not even the government will tell that churches are political, which means you don't need to bring politics in church. So why are they going out and clowning, which is wrong? And if anyone have going up to make such a statement, they should be very careful, because you are violating the law, the same law or the same institutional code that you stand for. We should allow the politicians, because now the politicians have failed. They have failed woefully in their political campaign, their political career, and they want to take church as a cement for them to help them.
So are you saying that politics is gradually infiltrated?
It's already infiltrated in church, maybe. It's not that, it's gradually. And you know, like what we're taking today in class, I was just teaching my student in class, I talk about Durex. And we're saying that gift, that if any government official calls you and give you a gift, it may be an envelope of 10,000, 5,000, 100,000, or 2 million, it's already put under financial Durex. And when it comes to the government, you cannot say nothing negative. You only try to back the government because you're already eating from the government coffers.
You cannot buy the figure.
You cannot buy the figure future, as people say. So that is the thing that the government is doing with some clergies. And the clergies are feeling so comfortable with that type of scenario. which we think that the clergy stands in a better position to rebuke even the government when they are going wrong. Because our rule as clergy is to make sure that humanity is safer in the hand of our government. Humanity live with hope in the hands of our government. Humanity sees safety in the hands of our government. That is our rule. And if they don't, we need to shout high in the high heels that is not the way they ought to go. That is why the clergy, they need to study the political, the laws and the rules of this country, so that they hold the government based on the law. And so the law stipulate that this is how the country have to move, and we are part of that country. Even though we are not political, we want to guide you on what is right.
You have raised the dust on something. In the Episcopal conference which happened a few weeks ago, we had bishops coming together, and the president or the head, Archbishop Andrew Kea, in his outing, his very strong outing, I must articulate that, mentioned that the voters' card is paramount. I mean, don't you think that at a certain level, why you may be tempted to establish that the church is being compromised, but don't you see the church as a great tool of initiating consciousness, especially during this complex political era?
Well, he might have his reason why he's saying so, but to me, I see that the church really need to stay away from politics, because the failed government will use the church as its last resort. The failed government will use the church as its own bridge to reach out to the people. It is normal. It is the rule of Elecam to do political voter sensitization to the public, so that people to vote. It's not even the rule of the government in seat. It's the rule of Elecam. That is the local electoral body that have that responsibility to go to the street, to go to every quarter with its own members, to tell them the reason or the importance for them to go for to restart to the elections.
But is that the place of the electoral board?
It is a place to talk about the election.
Don't you think that it's place of opposition parties, their leaders on the ground, grassroots?
That's why I'm saying that it is the elector and the politician. The politician have to have the rule to talk about, to canvas for people to vote, because they want also to win. They want people to come, to give them that vote. So they also have to go about. But it's not the place of the church. They don't the place of the church, because the government also understands the influence of the church in the society. And because they have failed and people are not like serious or feeling so committed to vote, they want to say, okay, let the voice of the church come so that they can make people to be committed. You got the point. And which the church should be very smart to make sure that they don't use them as a tool against the population. You got the point. Voters to have a voter card is a level of it's an issue of consciousness. It's an issue of consciousness. You should be conscious that I am a Cameroonian and I want to vote. And if at all your votes have been stolen for some time, and you feel that I don't feel this time around I should vote, it's based on your own consciousness, not to put on Durex. Because even in American election, you will see they'll say Republican have this vote, the Democrat have this vote, and there are also neutral people that do not vote. So it's normal for any country to see people who are neutral. And those people, that's why you see, they will even tell you that the level of people who are neutral, people want to canvass them so that you give them more reasons for them to vote for their party or to vote for them.
Now, we are looking at the voice of the voters' cards, and Mr. Diedone here had risen the dust on something very sensitive. I think that we should not really go back to the drawing board, but what about a healthy comparison, just like you started, between Cameroon and other neighboring and sister countries? You cited a case in point, Senegal, where you said the voters' card has been speaking. Can you put this into perspective?
Mabel, you just watched the last presidential election in Senegal, where a 44-year-old is now the president of Senegal. I want us to take us aback a little bit. Remember when the former president wanted to change the constitution, he appointed the members of the Constitutional Council and conseiller, something of that in French. I'm not good in French. And the chairman of this council rejected this idea. That is why I said something is to happen in Cameroon of this magnitude, because we have realized. I want to differ a bit, please. Now let me differ before I miss track with Doctor a little bit. Doctor, you said the church has no responsibility in politics. I think there is somewhere in the Bible that the Bible says the government is on your soldier, and we have competent people who were Solomon, David. These were all good rulers that even God gave them description, adjective that pleases people. The king after the wisest king, the man after my heart. I think it is equally the responsibility of the church to mobilize Christians, to bring them to consciousness, to shun them from all the vices of morals that politicians are introducing. And again, the voters' card in Cameroon has not been playing its role. I have said that. That's why I am in a dilemma. Concerns 2025, the voice of the voters' card. Now, as you rightly asked, in Senegal, we saw how Macky Sall was removed and the new president came. It was thanks to the mobilization of the youth that came up and said, it is our time.
But now the youth coming together, what instrument was the voters' card?
We
saw them coming out and taking to the streets,
yes,
to revolt against some constitutional reforms of Macky Sall.
Yes. That is why the election made it very clear that this is the voice. The practical manifestation that went to the street was visible in the ballot box. We thank God for institutions that are strong, not personality that are strong in institutions, like the case in my country. I am very sorry to say this, but we have very good institution in Cameroon, like the so-called Elekam, which is an independent, I quote it, independent, but 100% of the so-called personnel in this institution have presidential appointment. Mabe, what do you want to tell me? Mabe, the divisional officers are the one controlling elections. Mabe, the police are the one guarding the voters' card, the ballot box.
Now, don't you think that we have people who lack integrity? Are you wanting to say that though they are appointed based on presidential decree, they are numb towards doing the right thing? So are we not looking at a chessboard where people are void of integrity and not because their consciences have been bought by the powers that be?
Mabe, if you are asking a question, you have already answered the question. The problem is the virtue that I'm crying, that like doctor said, the church should not come in. We need to instill some moral virtues in Cameroonians, most especially call them the ancestors. I think they say gray hair comes with wisdom. But the reverse is the case in this Cameroon, because if you want to look, the chairman of the Constitutional Council, if I will respect his age, these are people who they are capable to tell Mr. President that His Excellency, it is time. It is time. But it bleeds my heart because I see young Cameroonians, parliamentarians, young Cameroonians, especially the one for Boya Oban, who will take to the street and say, the youths of Boya have elected you to be our candidate at your age, at his age. He is electing somebody of 93 years plus.
Now, Doctor, Mr. Dieudonné has, made it even more complex in the transparency that he's brought. Is it in the age or incompetency? Because at a certain point, we want to ask what Cameroonians want. Is it going to be fair and just, credible enough to say that Cameroonians at a certain point do not know if they want, legitimacy, if they want competency, or if they want the gray hair?
Well, maybe what I was saying in Cameroon is that sometimes we have mispriority, because the youth themselves, to me, it's like they are confused. Okay. They don't even know what they want, because, the gray hair might not even be the problem. Okay. But the gray hair without wisdom is really the problem that we have here in Cameroon. Okay. Because you will look at, for example, the president of Senior, Mr. Nyat. Look at his age. Look at even the videos you see concerning him. He's incapable of even. I don't understand why he even understands certain things. Look at the president in the House of Assembly. No, we should. The youths don't need to just say that it's because of incompetence or the gray hair. The gray hair in Cameroon is really an embarrassment, because the gray hair have shown of wisdom. It's more of foolishness than wisdom. because we don't see the gray hair. The gray hair want to. The truth is so that what we should know in Cameroon is that the structure that is we have now as leaders in this country, to me, is like a sect that everybody want to protect where they find themselves. Everybody want to go to where a small sect that I find himself, and I want to remain in that place until I die, which is a bad ideology. That's why it is very even difficult for the opposition to enter, to be any vision or any plan to break that strongholds. Because what did they do? The gray hair realizes that since we are full of foolishness and we cannot take a developmental project in our country as a weapon for us to draw the youth to support us, let us put a fighting mechanism where we will use the youth to stand and campaign for us. And today, look at what's happening even in the media, even the social media. Most of the young guys, you are them, go and make a register, go and register. The young guys are busy doing that. But the question is, do we have a credible electoral commission? Do we have a credible electoral board?
So you are saying in essence that the interest of the populace may be genuine, but the only barricade here is the genuineness of the electoral board. The
electoral board, first of all, maybe I'll sound it clear even to the opposition that if they really want their voters, their vote to be heard, and they want the change that they're asking for, the first thing that they have to strive, even by, for me, even sitting here, I think one of the things that the youth should do to me, if I have to go to my activists and do my own campaign, is that they should strive that they don't want to even register. Because the election of Cameroon have ever been discreditable election, and they have ever been under a scam, and they have stolen the election, and today we are discovered that we will not register and be a campaign worldwide. It will try to change the grey hairs, to rethink our system, to go to the field, to the poll and vote. But if that has to happen, we need an independent electoral board which is not influenced by anybody. And if the opposition can fight that fight and win, then the system can start with this country and believe that we can make a change. That's why you can often stand and say that we can make a change.
Now,
about
making a change, yes. Doctor, we are going to agree that on my panel, you mentioned that the political atmosphere is not conducive enough. And then we find Dr. Christian talking about we need a change. Don't you think already you've set an impasse and you are still consoling? What do you make of it, Mr. Jedoni? I mean, as a youth, and Doctor has established that there is an impasse, and the idea of the voters card having a voice is already a wet blanket. But then the youth can negotiate the change. Where do we find a balance midway? Before I come back to you, Doctor.
That is why in my opening address I said I find myself in a dilemma. The voters card can make a change. But is it possible in Cameroon? Because one, Doctor mentioned the electoral code or the electoral laws. Mabel, I want to take us a little bit back. Okay. The last presidential election, based on the electoral code, you have 10 days for the Constitutional Council to examine complaints filed to them. Mabel, for the parliamentary, we had about 552 complaints. In the presidential, we had about 70-something complaints for 10 days. For 10 days. Mabel, for them to scrutinize this, these are the laws that we are saying. Mabel, for them to scrutinize this, and without legal or electoral expert of opposition members in that panel, Mabel, what do we expect? I am not disputing the fact that the voters card can make a change. It can. But the instruments and the institutions are not readily available in my own country. This is per se. People who have been given that legitimate responsibility to facilitate this democratic practice have failed in the, you ask a question to Doctor, is it gray hair or is it legitimacy?
Or is it competency?
Or is it competency? Maybe it is competency. It is competency because we have, so the conscience are not working.
Doctor,
is wisdom.
You are one of the people, Doctor, who talked about the atmosphere. I don't know if the intervention of Mr. Jedoni there made a difference or communicated your mind. But then again, there is a popular saying that change is constant. Is that where you want to build the capacity of your speech during this debate?
Well, this change is constant, but I don't. That change is constant to me. I say like a slogan for weak political strength and weak leadership. The change is constant because change is constant. It's not based on those slogans. It's based on action. It's based on what they can deliver on the field. It's based on what you say is competency. It's based on what good governance. That's what we talk about change. For example, let's just zoom back a little bit and go to Senegal. Senegal, what we are clamoring about Senegal today is based on they respect their constitution. They respect the constitution. If they did not respect the constitution,
and even the constitutional holders.
The constitutional holders. So the integrity of the nation, of those stakeholders, they are holding the integrity of the nation with high instinct. They don't want to damage the image of the country, and that's why they have to respect whoever follow the constitution legitimacy and have the right to be on those places. So they respect you.
Is that where patriotism comes in?
That's where patriotism comes in. And if you look at our own case, patriotism have been thrown out of the windows, they have thrown out of the doors. And we are like, patriotism is like a thing of the past. Everybody, if you look at our own leadership today, is that you discover that all of them, that if not all, most of them that are there, if not all, they are codependency, they are narcissists. And I can clearly say on this platform that they are guilty of vice because of the things that they have done in their own country. Let me give you Mabel. Look at Boya today. Look at the road in Munya. Look at the kind of road that's entering a headquarter, a historic headquarter. Pothole everywhere. Authority and passes today. People are coming. I think some authority was the Minister of Education whatsoever. They were passing there with more car. I said this madness. This pure madness when you have a country. And then tomorrow I say to vote to who? If you're not competent, I used to say if we want that change, we should agree that everybody, including the president, should respect the law. And if we respect the law and everybody is held by the law, then I will talk about, and then I should also probably stand on our panel and say maybe we can change this government by our vote. If we can respect the law. The problem we have is that the same constraint of the law that they need to show their protection in the country by upholding the law and violating the same law. That's the problem we have. And you see, for example, you see the day of voting, instead of carrying the voters box to Elekam, they are carrying to Joe's office. Is that Joe Elekam? Some of them are carrying it elsewhere. Sometimes even go and catch it in the bar.
Now, if they had carried it, to Elekam, you will be the same people throwing stones.
No, let me tell you, Elekam is in charge of election in Cameroon, and everything concerning election must focus on Elekam. And the power that's being the political powers, they don't have no interest.
My question is, what trust? Because we are dealing with Cameroonians, we are dealing with countrymen, patriots who are having immense doubts for Elekam. Now, if they bring these votes to the head office, Elekam, what trust is going to be bestowed? What trust is going to be?
That's why I'm saying maybe that the population have already looked at the level of the trust of the people on ground and said they're not trustworthy. Even the Elekam himself, it is part of CPDM arm. It's not an independent body. And that's why I'm saying that I'm just trying to expose some weaknesses when our election of our country is concerned. That you see election body that Elekam that was supposed to handle this thing that because normal account power to election or constitution and right, when they are counting the vote, all the political parties have the representative there. They have to be there, not the government or this thing. So anybody that respects the citizen will be there, the SC other part should be there, and we don't need no Joe. We don't need no government official, we don't need no Janam to stand there. You got the point. Yeah, if at all they are there, it may be just to protect for peace, so that they should not violent. They have no influence there. But you see Janam standing on a box, you see Janam carrying books on their back, but not even Elekam worker. And you see people sitting, government officials sitting and writing on election. This is madness, maybe. If we don't change our mindset, we don't change our way of approaching and accepting the electoral environment that is something that is so important in our nation. We'll still be celebrating Senegal over and over and over while we were still sleeping, or we look at it like a dilemma in our own country. We want responsible leaders, and anybody that want to be Elekam, you must make sure that you have what it takes. You are not supportive anybody. You are a neutral entity when it comes to Elekam. And Elekam at this point, at this junction of the 31st century, just do not go or something on to the poll. We should have people who are even voting electronic online. We should not need one point what to go and install the poll. Why are they still allowing mechanic in the poll? Because that is the way they can fraud. If you go online, they cannot fraud because they will discover that many people want to cast their vote, and if all the mechanism, the mechanical device online is intact and it is the way it's supposed to be, they cannot defraud. You got the point. So they want to find you back to the poll so that they'll find a comfortable way to defraud. And when they say that in Boya, 10,000 people have registered. So they already know that in here we can manipulate and have 3,000. And you will say that afterward, there are already people say that 10 people have registered. But who are those who have registered? Are they living in Boya? And how is it possible that the day of election you were going around, you not see people going to police station, but you are hearing about the number of thousands of people that they have voted? Those are the things that Cameroonians need to sit down, ask questions, and ask what is going wrong. Because election is one of the tool and element in any country that bring change. You got the point. Today you see next year America is going for election. I already see the hits that is going through the Republican and the Democrat, and everybody is going about figures to see who ideas is more better than the other, and who can sustain America more better than other. And that's what we Cameroonians also need to be thinking. We cannot talk about a democratic country unless somebody is 40 on seats. It's madness. And we say Cameroon is a democratic country, and a country where we say that we respect electoral process. No, it cannot happen that way. It cannot happen that way. Because it's the integrity of a nation that we need to preserve. It's not the integrity of a man. And if you want to preserve the integrity of a nation, nobody can withstand when it concerns the law. Everybody is about. You see America today, every Trump is going to court because of incitement, and he is there in the court, even though he's going to the president. That is the law. We should make sure that our law of our country is revised, and the youth now, to me, they should be clamoring for a strong government.
Okay, talking about the youth, they cannot clamor for a transition government without speaking in the language where this epoch, this era, this political atmosphere will better understand. I think at this point, let me turn to the lone youth that we have on the panel, Mr. Ikane Diodone. Dr. Christian had earlier mentioned that the youth have what it takes. Now, if they have what it takes, what can be done to stir them up? Cognizant that the youth are disinterested in the political chessboard, cognizant that the youth are dealing with a time where they feel that the political atmosphere is a little bit sensitive, and no matter what they tend to do with their voters' cards, there is going to be an indifference. What do you have to say?
Well, if we want to participate, the youth of Cameroon want to participate in this election, which we are already registering because we know these are some of the pertinent issues to take into consideration the government of Cameroon. One, institutions should be restructured, personnel should be restructured, and should be changed, and laws, electoral laws. That is why I said the opposition party should be clamoring on these electoral laws, because the law alone is a barrier for them to succeed. And I equally want to tell them that the opposition equally are greedy. The opposition, we have a deficiency in opposition parties in Cameroon, because as of now, as we are talking, we have election comes 2025. There is no opposition that can withstand it. The CPDM only party. There is no talk.
Is that you being a prophet of doom?
No. It's a reality. Talk in terms of strategy, talk in terms of popularity, talk in terms of resources, talk in terms of mobilization. Why I say there's a deficiency is this. We have much room and small political parties. What is the essence of us not coming into one thinking basket so that our voice, our number, they say the number has strength. Our voice, our number, I want to be the president. This is what we call self-centeredness of the opposition. That's why I call it opposition deficiency in Cameroon. That is why you see some other political parties, the CPDM has made grounds for them to be satellite parties of the CPDM. You have one of the minister of vocational training who has a party. During the end, I have given my vote to the CPDM. It is but normal. These are strategies of the CPDM. Let the opposition, if they want the youth to stand behind them, let the opposition come under a one thinking basket. I heard one opposition political leader was saying, I trust my candidate, I trust myself, I don't trust any other political. This is not the time. It is for us to come and reason how, as a number, we can challenge the oracle on seat. We can do what people think cannot happen. Senegalese have made it that it is possible in Africa. That is why I just said the youth of Cameroon are
You were one of the people who mentioned here on this unprecedented program that power is not given, but power is taken. Yes. Now, bringing or incorporating the youth into this statement and in all what is happening, the changes, the dire need for change and all of that, how do you think we can push the cat on the table, considering that power is not given but it's taken?
That is why I have said the number. We should mobilize and get registered, because when the population of the registration is much, it equally threatens the government that, hey, if I dare, there will be this, there will be this. But just imagine a population of 28 million people. Appears 2007, about 7 million people registered and 3 million people were actively participated in the election. It has given the government enough, and it has given the CPDM party enough grandeur to manipulate, because the majority were not part. But I am telling the youth of Cameroon today that if we mobilize as youth, get involved, register and participate, please don't just register. I am emphasizing register and participate in this election. And we will not just participate, youth of Cameroon. We will be very, very visible. Our eyes will be as wide as the lamp, because we have so many opposition that are sheep, that are wolf in sheep clothing, because we will not come for promises. This is what I hate in Africa, Cameroon in particular. You don't come as a presidential candidate, you tell us we will give you water, we will give you electricity, we give you road. No, that is bullshit.
But is that not satisfying? Does it not put it?
Mabe, it is our right. It is our right. It is our right. Those are social rights. Those are social amenities. That it is the responsibility, whether you are in an opposition, okay, so you need electricity.
Okay, so
they should bring us manifesto with vision of constructing a nation, not giving pipe-borne water and not giving rice and salt. They should give us a manifesto that shows us within a period of 7 years, Cameroon has left this area to this area. We are in the 21st century, Mabe, and you take Boya, surrounded with rivers, and you still find people using cars to transport water. But are we normal? Are we normal? Healthcare facility is a wahala in the 21st century.
Dr. Christian,
what is the government?
Dr. Christian has been smiling.
We need a change in the government.
Dr. Christian has been smiling gaily. Now, if I had the power to travel into your mind, I would be asking myself lots of things, or I'm eager to want to discover what you have, the litany of thoughts that you have going. At a certain point, are you thinking that Dieudonné is not making sense, or are you thinking that he's, actually the advocate of the youth, or he's playing the devil's advocate, or actually he is a pipe and impossible dream? What's amidst all of this?
Well, I don't look him so passionate about his point and talk about the youth and clamoring that they should go to the poll and put their eyes. I don't know the type of eyes that the youth have. That is more than the eye of the military, more than the eye of the government official that around the polling box. I don't know why the eyes the youth have more than the money that they'll be giving youths for 500, 10,000 to go and vote, to go and fight, to take vote and to carry ballot box and go and fill box. The same youth we are talking about. That's why when you're talking person, I'm not laughing, because they will use the same youth to fight against the same youth, and that's why that is the secret of the government. Now, the problem is that if you want,
has it ever happened before?
Yes.
Or are we just talking out of emotion?
I've been one of the polling agents years back, so I know. Even before we in the polling, I'll tell you what's in Bodè. The people that brought us food was the people that brought us food. I would do it. So the people that's already a jurex already that are already pushing you. They put in food, and sometimes they call people are polling agents and they give them money behind. And because those are the tools that the people in power they use. So when you are excited of you saying that you will do this, the problem is that maybe for you to get something right, find out first of all what is the strength of these people in power. What are their weapons that they are using?
No, but before you answer that, or before you ask him that, and while he's rearming himself to really give a lucid explanation, Doctor, you mentioned that roots are poor, and you're one of those people on my panel who has been passionate about bringing out the lapses of the government, and you don't just talk out of emotions, but you're practical. Yeah. These are palpable things that we live with every day. You bring realities. Now he's spoken about, don't tell us we need pipe-borne water and all of these in your manifestos. What then should feature in the electoral manifesto?
That's why I'm coming. I'm saying for you to disarm somebody, even the Bible said that for you to take a strong man, you have to disarm the strong man. How do you disarm a strong man? You see at his power, at the strong things that are put around him, and then you find a means to disarm those strong weapons. Let me tell you, the government in power have 4 weapons. Let me put 4 weapons first. One of the weapons is that already get hold of Eleka. And no matter they sing a song, no matter how many thousands or millions they vote in Cameroon, Eleka will still play his business. Now they're doing mapping. You like it or not, they're doing mapping that behind. So they already know which opposition party they'll give, who's small, this one to get just to claim the fact that opposition are there, and which one. And sometimes the funny thing is that the youth are there on the field, but they say what they're saying. That's why they say and don't laughing. And the other people are still there, other youths are still there negotiating behind. That's the first problem. Secondly, the Cameroon government that have its own strategy is that he will make you poor in a level that you come and beg to him. Instead of that, that's why he wrote about you have poor infrastructures, you have poor communication, poor light, even water is a basic, they're not there. So that when they come to Bukavu, they say, oh, want to get the Bukavu community, look at it like they are doing a favor. That's how that's what their weapon. So what do we have to do? We have to work hard ourselves to disarm them by doing what they feel they can do to us for ourselves.
How is that?
I'm telling them that, for example, what happened in Ghana. When they brought rice to the population, the president can't we don't need rice, we need intelligent and people who are comfortable to do us. And that's what we say. So if you come to Bukavu, the government say that I'll give Bukavu, you say no, we don't want water, sir. We want good governance. We can provide water for ourselves. And they make sure they provide water. And that is a strength to disarm the government. When the government realizes that the people can do what they think that they can do for the people, they'll start to say, hey, it means people are reasoning more than what we are thinking. You got the point now? It means you're disarming them. Secondly, you see, the government have also succeeded to move to catch or to disarm a lot of big opposition in the government sectors, in the government system. Most people are working in the government. Go and see most of the principal and the vice president are in the government. Because government have make sure that if you are in the government and you don't support the winning team, they always call that in their rally where they gather and say the winning team, and they lay all of them to go in the civil party, making order to come agent in their agent wherever they find themselves. That's what they think. So the opposition need to also clamor to make sure that in the beginning to 1992, you discover that NCA can have a general manager in Sonara, which is also opposition. I remember how the vice president of Sonara or the director of Sonara, the Muslim, it was a Muslim, and he was from the opposition party. When you have strong people in government services or government institutions that they are in the opposition, that's why the first of all you have to gather the strength. So the government or the CPD have done it hard to disarm some of those people around them, and they are not just there like they're looking at it. And even though those few that are there like opposition, they are just climbing, just talking, because the people who are there, the only thing that just be in the government and the government will help you do it, and they see like an opportunity cost. You understand the point? And now government too is using operation measure through the military. You got the point? To the military to impose some certain things, some certain area. You go to a certain area, you discover that every military program vote more than 10 times. I don't kind of in town and tell that in Akwaya 20 people vote, but most of them they voted the military. So government is using. So the opposition need to ask themselves, what are these strategies that the government are using, and how can we disarm government from these strategies? You got the point now. When you disarm the government from this strategy, then you can talk about our change. You got the point now. When you don't have that control over the system, then you cannot talk about change. So change must only come when you have get hold of the system. So the opposition should not be sitting and be talking about we have made the opposition all unite to become one. The government must filtrate through money. We'll give money, we'll give bribery, we'll give corruption will come in, and so they start to fight themselves along. I think last electoral this thing, opposition were clamoring and they said they want to make one candidate. They came along and they sent them. They start to argue. No, it will be this man, it will be this man, it will be this man, and problem. And before you discover that the CPD have its own hold over the election at the end. But now, if we say we want to talk about change in Cameroon, let's learn from other countries, especially Africa. I don't want to go out of Africa. What are the tools, South Africa, what are the tools they are putting down to make sure that people go to election without anybody, without any duress, financial duress or political duress or any force forcing them anybody? Because for us to bring change, people must vote from their hearts. It must be a matter of real conscience, not a rumor conscience. In Cameroon, people have been voting years back by as rumor conscience. Rumor conscience talk about people who are voting because they have given them money. People are voting because their brothers are in what the government have its own strategy. Sometimes when after election they do government reshufflement, they do put one man from Akwaya and send it to go and work as director of the cabinet office. Say, wow, government have done great. It's not a matter of you celebrating all those things. And you discover that in the foolishness of Cameroonians, they'll be celebrating and get motion of support. That's madness. It is the right for the country, for the people who have the technical know-how to be in a position that they're supposed to be. It's not something that the government is doing to any community, but the government have bring the decision down to a point whereby taking a Bakori man and making a vice principal is like they're doing Bakori people favor. And I look like they will start to dance and make celebrate and start to say much of support. That's madness. We should come to a place whereby we also respect our own right. Taking me very and putting is not to make people that try to feel that they have done good. It's your right because you are competent enough and you deserve that position. That's what we should see. So we should not be making the government to praise the government to feel that what they are doing favor to a particular tribe or to a particular community. No. It's if we start to clamor that, put the right people in the right place. And truly, let me tell you, maybe one of the political wahala that we have is so that wrong people in the wrong are some position. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And some people will fight for election because after election they'll give the position. So they are that's why I say they are more narcissists and they're codependent because they are doing everything for their selfish interests. So the voters' card is very important, but in Cameroon, it's a dilemma.
Doctor, in Cameroon, it's a dilemma. When you put something as sensitive, something as sensual, and something as thought-provoking as youth taking the course and talking about voting security, and for the youth or voters, I don't want to narrow it just to the youth, for voters to vote with their consciences and not because they have been tricked or their consciences have been brought. Now, what security do these voters have? I think, well, we stand here to urge the voting population to take charge and for them to know that they have the joker that can be able to influence things. What security do they have in one hand during this electoral process come 2025?
We are in Cameroon and we understand the politics in Cameroon. The voters have the responsibility first to register, second to take part in their civil responsibility, which is voting. And I want to amplify this. The security of their voting counts on them. Let them protect their vote. They are citizens of this country. Doctor mentions the arms of the government. They have resources, yes, and we are in a democratic country whereby we are their employers. And when the citizens of this country decide that this is what we want, and come their election day, they should stand by the polling station and the votes are counted. That is why I am saying the number of people who get involved is already a security, Mabe. I am emphasizing this. The number is a security. Just imagine we are up more than 29 million. Mabe, 3 million are taking part in the election. There's no security. But if 29 million, we have 20 million that have taken part in this election, the government will be threatened. Because I want to say, I am a Cameroonian, I've lived in Cameroon all my life. I want to say the problem, Cameroonians, we have only one problem, the bad will of the government, which we can undo this bad will only by our votes. Even though Doctor is amplifying, Doctor is making it that the voters' card has not yet been made valid in its responsibility by saying since 1960, since 1992, yes, we have not been able to have a change. I think this is the time. Let all voters, please, all voters, it is 2025. Let's use our voters' card and make the necessary change that it. Listen, let's talk about buying conscience during elections. We have come to realization. We are not in that epoch whereby people think 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 francs will buy our conscience. Cameroonians have said no. They thought 7 years or 7 months. We have come to realize for 4 decades, we have been taking 7,000 times 4 is 28,000 francs. And we have lost a lot. So we have come to realize, let the opposition, let the ruling party come to realize that we have come to realize that 3,000 is not our problem. T-shirt and umbrella will not solve our problem. We will change the country through the due electoral and legal democratic means by electing the right candidate and the right opposition. And I want to shock some people. My people think I might be an opposition. If we see a credible candidate in the CPD, and we will vote for the candidate. People should not think we need a change. We need a change. There are credible politicians in CPDM. If the CPDM present to us that this is a candidate and we scan through the candidate profile and there are people with virtue. So what we need is not an opposition party that should take it. We need a change. We need a change that will affect the Tolemoda who is planting vegetable. We need a change that will affect a woman in my 16 that is selling dresses. We need a change that the common man will be proud to say, I am a Cameroonian. We need that change with our voters card. Let us all go and register. Most especially the youth. We will take power comes 2025. But we know the ups. We are not doubtful. We are very aware. But it is time. There is time for everything, C7. Youth, if you cannot do great things, do little things that are great by voting.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ikanem. Before we get into the segment where we start taking your questions and some of your calls, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the beautiful spice and the beautiful garnish for Matters is always when we get to hear your thoughts. And in case you're joining this program, this is Matters, and the topic on board, we are looking at the voice of the voters card. If it has the magic wand to change the status quo come 2025. And of course, if you are trying to work in tandem with what the guests and resource persons, political resource persons here have been saying, you can drop your little cent, a comment or two, and if you want to differ, then you can politely do so, or if you want to teach us something new, you can do that. Just give us your concerns, your observations, your remarks through the number defined on your television screen. Doc, before we get to that place where we start taking comments, I think it is worthy for us to, drag our feet back to what Mr. Dieudonné has said. The question is, we want even a candidate. He has said, and I quote loosely, that even if a virtuous candidate is from the CPDM, we are going to vote. Do you think at a certain point we are attacking the CPDM in its entirety, or we want a change, regardless from the avenue where this change is coming from?
Well,
should there be a point where we say that we have a true candidate even from within?
Yes, the problem is not about the party that the candidate is coming from. The problem is about a Cameroonian that have a vision for the nation. A Cameroonian that really loves his nation, because we have realized that even the opposition of the opposition, they don't even love their nation. All what they are doing, they are just singing song all over and singing song. And I look at a toothless battling dog, because they don't really do what they think that is relevant for them to do, so in order to make the election to become. Mr. Ekane was told about the security of the voters. I was talking about the security of the voter is the population that come. I don't think that the population that comes is really the security, because thousands of people. You know that even in America, it was even said that the Trump election was stolen. Do you know that? That was a investigation that people were saying, and so, but thousands of Americans were out to vote. So it doesn't mean about the population; it be about the competency of the people and the conscience of the people who are in charge. That really matters. It's not about the population, because all Cameroonians can even vote, and all they go to the polls still they vote, because it doesn't matter the population; it matters the consciousness of the people who are in charge of that particular department, which is very precious for the nation, and it is an integrity. You need people with a lot of integrity and goodwill, and people who are too patriotic to an extreme, that they love that culture with passion, that they believe that the law and the integrity of the nation is their standard. And if they believe in that and stand in that position on that political office, I believe that whosoever may decide to be the leader, let it be the one that the people choose, that they believe that you can be the change. And if they still believe, even Mr. Bia, and I want to vote Mr. Bia, let it be that it is the people's will. Let it not be like people now cast their vote and they are doubting that this vote that I've cast, are you sure that this vote have answered the question that it was in my heart? Because when you say that Mabel can be my president and you voted for her, and both of us we are coming and do a vacancy, discover that most of us have voted for her and discover that she even defeat in the list. You ask the question, does that vote really speaks of what I really want in the country? You got the point. And now look the way the country is moving. In other countries, you see where when the CPDM, let's give an example in Cameroon, when the CPDM won an election, he gave some member of the opposition to some key position in the government, so that everybody should be in the hand of the decks to work. But if you look at in Cameroon in particular, most of the people are CPDM people, and that will push the opposition and make the country to become a country of what we call democratic, we call democratic country, but what is a autocracy or is a dictatorship. Because we don't even bring the people of the government inside the mechanism for them also to partake in the government, in the governing of the country. And that's the problem. And some of them, they are doing that with intentional act, because if you're not friend of the government, they don't bring it because now you expose them. And that is the problem. No, we should now look at this country as is the country. I used to tell one military guy that the way you are behaving, he thought that maybe this country I'm a stranger, and if there's someone who don't have ID card, it's like Cameroonian. No, we should have that heart of tolerance and love our people, because if you love your people, your citizens, even if somebody say I don't have ID card because maybe say that I don't have ID card because I leave my home, I was so hairy and I have to go into a newsroom, you understand? There's no need to push her that because you have an ID card and you have sit down, you must give money. That's corruption. And we say we are fighting corruption. If we are fighting corruption, we must have that first of all, that loyalty heart of our country and that patriotism. And so far, in other countries, for example, like America, you discover that the people that they want to tell the government what the government do. It's not the government tell the people. The government can say that, the people can say that, okay, we want to be a village there in Bukai, because Bukai is a land. The government will give them that right to do that. It's not the government telling that you must do this. And that's what America is today. Because the people will tell the government what they want, not the government tell the people what they want. That's why in America you see somebody can move from grass to grace, because they will decide what to do. But most often in Cameroon, it's like everything. I can't remember, I was even learning that even the roads that we are saying that in Munya and my 16 going down to Mutengene is bad. I learned somebody was even telling me that even the government have decided to have given a ban that anybody who come to put small soil, those guys that used to put small soil on the road to take small money that they don't want to see them, it's badness. That is totally wickedness. I call that total wickedness. Why? Because every Cameroonian that even goes there to see that it is a problem. I want to put a soil. He's a practicing citizen that want to be a solution to his own nation, and they must give him that chance to do that. Even if they give it a token at the end of it, let it be, because they are solving a problem. Because those tires or those cars that are getting bought on that road is only a problem to the Cameroonian people. So if it seems fit that let me pour every earth on the road,
and they'll feel entitled.
And be entitled that I'm saving my nation.
No, they'll feel entitled.
Yeah,
doctor, they'll feel entitled.
That what?
For doing that, for committing to that kind, don't you think that they're going to feel entitled?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because
if government had given powers to individuals carrying the road, do you know that there may be an era where individuals will stop others from plying that road?
No, I'm talking about those who are just putting soil on those pop hole on the road.
So it is almost similar.
No, it's not similar. Let's see what I'm saying. That, and you know something. What you are looking at the essence of entitlement. But me, I look at exposure, because the government just feel exposed. That if those guys are doing that, it means they're telling the government that this is what you were supposed to do, you are not doing, and the government feel ashamed for a system to tell them what they were supposed to do that they're not doing. It's not about entitlement even, because in any country there's bound of law. You got a point now. When they say that they don't want to see them, they stop down, because there was a law that was passed. So if the government feel that they don't want anybody to go there, let the government do it, because it is bad for you as a citizen to feel maybe. I can't remember when there was this African nation called Cote d'Ivoire. See, our citizens that went to Cote d'Ivoire, you see, they were showing roads, they were showing places. It's madness. I mean, Yaoundé is full of garbage. Yaoundé is full of barrel. I mean, Yaoundé in Komposo, I look at the road, I say, this is a capital Yaoundé.
I think I'll have you
and we talk about a country, maybe just let me explain this thing. We cannot be talking about leadership in a country whereby road is a necessary infrastructure that the citizens need, because that facilitates development and also strengthen the economy of the nation. Because when the roads are good, it helps a woman in Munya to quickly carry her goods to the central market, and to make sure that he or she also got her money and live well, and also facilitate them to also keep some money, because when roads are good, the transportation fare will also go down. So those are important things that the government, the leadership of the country need to understand. And they are now going around making songs all over quarter and TV house talk about vote. What's vote? To me, if I want to be an activist, I will be the activist of holding Cameroonian that nobody should register. So they should feel that the Cameroonians are angry to a point whereby they have seen their leadership is that it's very bad to the extent that they believe that they need to rebel against it. It's true. We need to protest, because in other countries, the youth, they need to take a drastic measure for the government to see them that we are coming of age. And the only way, because let me tell you, maybe, if the youth think that the only way they can hold this government accountable and responsibility is to go and vote, they make an error. But if they can campaign and say nobody should register until the government prove that electoral commission is fair and transparent, and he assure every Cameroonian that whoever goes to the vote will win, and will do this one will register. And if that happens, that's the only way that we can push the government. Because all about youth clamoring and saying that go to a vote, your vote speaks. Vote doesn't speak. That vote doesn't speak. There are people that speaks for you. Because even if you don't go and vote, they will tell you that you already voted. I can't remember last time when I went to vote, my name was somewhere and another person's name was somewhere. And when the person was said they have already voted. So those are things that happen. When you go and talk, there's no complete a complaint commission in Cameroon where you can challenge a complaint there and they can take it serious. There's no.
Thank you, Doctor. You know, there is a lot of emotions when we're talking about Cameroon, especially for patriotic citizens. Yeah. If you've not got into that place of patriotism, you know, I think most times people don't get to talk with this kind of energy and passion. We have had people who have cried on set because of the pain that they feel in the inside. I think Cameroon has happened to some people and it has not happened to some people, and to some people this is their dreamland. Either ways, Doctor, you're representing the voice of one fraction of Cameroonians, while there are other people out there who think there's nothing wrong with Cameroon. I think this is time for us to take some of the reactions. This one says, greetings, Mabel. Vote has the power in other African countries that democracy is fully practiced, but here in Cameroon, the possibilities to have a sure positive outcome after casting your vote is very minimal, because the regime put in place by the head of state would not accept that. And it's often said, you can't buy the fingers that feed you. The electoral institutions, as far as independently, is being preached by others. Thanks, Daniel from Moliko. And he went on to say, people shouldn't compare Cameroon and Senegal. The truth is, after casting your vote, and if at the end you discover that as a youth your vote has been stolen or has not properly done, or was not properly done, if you dare to go to the streets, you might be caught by security forces and locked up. Other African countries, they fully respect democracy. People have the right to protest if they feel their votes were ridiculed, but in Cameroon, it's something else. Try it and you'll find yourself in prison. Daniel from Moliko. Thank you so much, Daniel, for that participation. And I hope wherever you're watching, Moliko is doing justice to your evening this night. Ngoti Edwin says, there's no opposition party in Cameroon. They are just fooling us while filling their bank account with millions. Thank you so much, Edwin. Asene Kizito says, I like Cameroon like this. Thank you for the program either ways. Lawrence says, Le Cameroun c'est mon pays. It's impossible for democracy. And that one part, it's impossible for democracy, whatever he's saying. Please, can you just retype? Thank you so much. Dieudonné says, I am Dieudonné, and a shout out to my colleague, or my namesake, Dieudonné, on the panel. Cameroon and Nigeria electoral bodies and others are not independent to conduct any free, fair, and credible elections for the past 60 years. A shout out to my friend and my namesake, Dieudonné. I'm enjoying the program. What do you have to say?
This is what has put Cameroon into a dilemma in decision making in the bicameral House of Election. First, the Parliament. Remember when SDF was championing the opposition? I think 1998. I think they boycotted the legislative election, and what happened? CPDM took the majority of the seat. Now we are still saying that we should not vote. We are still saying that we should hold the country responsible. This is the only this is an important legal democratical instrument that we can use to do everything and all things that doctor is saying, square peg in a square hole, competent personnel. Yes, we don't have them now. But what is the means that have been given to us to use and effect a change? It is the 2025 election that is coming up. Come rain, come sun, I am saying it is our responsibility to prove legitimacy, to prove patriotism. Please, nationalists, let us all get registered. I want to tell us we should not especially the youths of Cameroon, we should not repeat the mistakes that were made. History will hold us responsible. Please, let's not put our name in the bad books of record. Remember, the parliament has 157 CPDM MPs. 157 CPDM MPs. What do you expect? That is why most of the laws come from the government, because the opposition are minority. So let us take this chance. We have been given the bull. Let's hold it by the horn. I am saying power has never been given. We will take power using our voters' cards. We will take power by getting registered and participating. There is no other way legally.
Thank you so much. This one says, Mbakwa, I am Mbakwa. I am still wondering why elections is conducted in this country. Is a one-party state. Cameroon is not a country. In the 21st century, this is a wonderful program. Thank you, Mbakwa. Ngochi says, we are used to fraudulent elections. Politicians, I didn't get the last statement. Cleto says, CPDM has cleaned and dry cleaned other political parties. Don't be surprised to see other parties thanking the president for giving them 1, 2, 3 senators from those to be appointed. Okay, thank you a lot. To show proof of democracy, we should copy from what Senegal is saying. All political parties should come together. I wonder if that was what Senegal did.
Well, Senegal is not even about the one party.
Senegal just gave a vote of thanks.
Yes, it's not even.
Faye.
Yeah, it's not even. You know, if you look at the history of Faye, you know that he came from the prison. You know, after some accusation and other things like that, and you know, his speech and the people that stood behind him, they saw the need for a young man to come up, to show up, and the youth took advantage and said, if this young man can come up with this brilliant, guide, and you see what he's already doing now. He's already blocking so those international colonies that, or they have some and they have even they have even disarm some treaty they have with France and other thing like that, because they want a youth to come up, because these old guys, they only sit in the office, and when they have stolen money and put in European banks, the only thing that the European will do is that they will hold it now and say, if you open your mouth and want to stand against us, want to rebel against us, we'll expose your money in the bank, and they will find comfortable to do everything. I'm just trying to tell my panelists the other way that, what you are shouting, I like the way you are passionate. But let me tell you that the youth votes have never spoken since 1992, because that youth vote is an opportunity for the ruling party to make advantage over it and to tell the world that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow, and they are there in the field to vote. And
don't you think if people were thinking like this, the so much desired change will not even come?
Yeah.
It's going to take for like eternity.
No, it will not take eternity. Because, see, let me tell you the truth. You know what happens? You know what happened when they used to say it, when the boy is ripe, right? Any means he can get bus. You can even get bus when you're walking on the street. You can even get bus when you're in the party. You got the point now. You can't remember one of the times say Operation Vimo. You don't know what the item of Vimo now. See what happened in this country? You got the problem I'm saying now. The youth can decide. The day the youth will decide and come back to their senses. To me, even to go to the street to clamor for the right, they can do that. And if they hold this country from north, south, east, they go on the street. And you see, take days on the street and say, we'll not work, we'll not do anything, they'll bring the government down. You can use any means to bring the government down. It's only by 2 votes. Look what happened in Ghana. When Rollins came, he discovered that, I'm not talking about Ghana, let me just go back to Burkina Faso. Go to the point. When Traore came, a brother young guy, when he came back to power, even though the people said it's too military, it's too what, but look, see what the guy did. The guy said that Burkina Faso is for Burkinas. They have to enjoy. One time, I can't remember, he made a statement that it don't go abroad. Come to the presidency, the president have responsibility to make sure that you have what you need as a youth in this country. And what happened? Some weeks after, he gave a command, a ban to the country, say anybody that have stolen from the government coffers should pay their money. The Bible, they said in 24 hours, is it 24 or 28 hours, he raised almost 200 something billion. And that's what he do. He pumped those money back to the country to bring back employment to the youth. That's what we want. Look what happened in Ghana when Rollins came. But all the ministers, if you have stolen money, pay the money, or you get to prison. and brought monies. That's why you see Ghana is enjoying today. You got the point. Those are the countries that we can draw inspiration, not only Senegal. Those are countries that presidents have come from one level. Those are countries that we can find out what are the strategies that they are using, what are the committed process that they are using. And if let me tell you, one of the things I know is that they respect the law. That is the one thing that they have. They respect the law. Whosoever you are, the president, or whosoever, you respect the law of the country. And that law of the country, no party. Even if you are majority in the parliament, you don't have no right except there's a balance of the opposition and the ruling party that we can change the law, which means that everybody is conscious of what is happening. For example, he's talking about the CPDM having they will continue to have my brother, because it's not about, let me tell you the truth. I've been somebody, I've been on the field. I've sat with CPDM people, I've talked with a lot of people, political leaders, and I'll tell you that I've been a Konya, and one guy told that they have asked him to be a mayor. And they tell me, don't bother, we'll put you there. You don't need to go, you don't need to come out for vote. So they have to do strategy, and especially those areas that are vulnerable areas that people are not already there. You got the point now?
And you think other political parties are not also maneuvering like that?
Who can maneuver to put you a mayor? To put a mayor in a particular area that government is not aware? How can you say the mayor is not something you go to vote? When they talk to you like that, it's because they know that they can manipulate
what
the
about
election.
Other municipalities where it's headed or manned by opposition parties? We have opposition leaders who as well tell you that they are going to put you in those positions.
Yes.
Why is the CPDM a thing?
Yeah,
so they are doing what every other political party could be doing.
Let me tell you, in a democratic country, where we talk about Cameroon, it's a democratic nation. You go to any position that in a democratic country through the vote of the people. When it is manipulated anywhere, that's why I'm saying that if you have to cite any opposition party have done that, it's wrong. They have to be booked. They have to be investigated. They need to give the public population why did they do that, because it's against the law. Any mayor in any town or any state or any MP, you must be voted by the people. And if the people discover that, that's why I'm saying sometimes I told you one time that we have problem with intellectuals in this nation. We have problem with them. Because those people are intellectual, the lawyers, the doctors, the professor, it's like they don't know that they have a responsibility in the nation to make sure things goes in order.
But you're one.
Those are the people that I'm doing my own part. Those are the people that they need to find out this investigation and hold conferences and hold the government accountable, or whichever party is doing that, hold the accountable. This country have laws. And if we have to make sure that we upgrade our integrity or uphold our integrity for the world to see, we need to obey our laws.
Thank you. Jodone, you have been, putting down, we have scores of people asking you people questions, but in 1 minute, I see you jotting. I don't know if it contradicts doctor's thoughts or their questions you want to shoot at him, or...
Doctor said, sorry, ma'am, doctor said the voting will not, because it has not yield any fruit after 1992. Doctor, 1992, you saw what happened. You saw with the participation. I am enforcing my point with the numbers. That is why I said...
No, but when you say you saw what happened, it's pending. I mean,
yes.
to that man,
I'm coming.
Who is
yes,
watching?
I'm coming. I'm saying numbers. 1992, when SDF brought Cameroonians and told them that this is what we have. This everybody did. The manipulation went through. And in the street of Yaoundé, Douala, people came out. People came out. It was still the national president of SDF, of blessed memory, with due respect, sir, wherever you are, said, I will not soil my hands in blood. And we are saying, we have come to realize that there is manipulation, yes, from the government. The government has all the machineries, the government has all the institutions, the government has all the personnel, but Cameroonians have realized all this, and we have said by 2025, because politicians and civil society activists, international organizations are mounting pressure on electoral laws to be changed.
Doctor seems a little bit unbothered over what you're saying, but I still don't want to travel in his mind. Let us see what the people are saying.
Okay.
Let us see what the people are saying. This one says, I like the gentleman in white. I like the doctor too. This is such a wonderful program, Mabel. I can listen to this too for the whole day. Oh, really? Thank you so much, Precious Hands. Precious Hands. all the way from Bukwai. Thank you. I hope Bukwai is doing very okay this evening. Sanjin says, I'm writing from Melong. We have left this country in their hands. Whether who wins or loses, elections is no longer our business, Mabel. Now we are concentrating to better our lives. Papa P said the youth should engage in agriculture, so we are in our farms working, time no day. I like this program. The guests are just spectacular. Mwah, kisses and hugs. Thank you for blowing kisses and hugs to my panelists, and I'm going to be telling them. Thank you, Sandrine, all the way from Melong, and I hope that you're enjoying the program this evening. This one says, one-party system of government, no opposition party. Cameroon has always become a monarch country. Congratulations, Grandpa, whatever that means. Thank you so much, Itita, Linus, all the way from Bunduma. Thank you. How is Bunduma doing this evening? Leonard says, unlike other countries, Cameroon, whatever that means, we thank you still. Tackles says, the gentleman on the set is talking about history repeating itself. It's no news but history. No team can lose a match with a referee as their coach. So sad. When the wicked rule the people. My regards to the panelists. They are doing a great job. Thank you so much. It feels good that you're honoring my panelists this evening. Whatever that means, I feel that Jedone is going to be responding to it. Promise says, my name is Promise Lena Amu. I'm sorry if I'm unable to get the last name correctly. Are there more than one party in Cameroon? Just a humble question. Question mark, Mabel. Let them answer. Doctor, what does this mean?
The people have already spoken. Most of them, they know that Cameroon, in fact, they're just there because it's their country. You know, they can.
Somebody say, are they more than? Is that not a rhetorical question?
No, it's an investigation question that they have investigated in Cameroon. Discovered that no one party that is on top, because we cannot talk about, as I earlier said here, we cannot talk about democracy when we are living in a monarchy. You got a point that this country is a monarchy country. We should accept that further we are living in a monarchy. And how can we do to come up from monarchy to a democratic system? That's the point that we have to be talking now. Because we cannot talk about, let me give you an example. How long have we say we started democracy since 1992? Since 1992, one person has been ruling since then, and we talk about democracy. And you see, the irony.
But is democracy in the number of presidents?
No, the irony is that one person.
Doctor, please,
no, it's not about a president, but it's about the term of office that is given to a particular person. Because this country is not a country
that. In Senegal, it's 5 years.
Even if it's 5 or 10 years, after that 10 years, in most countries all over the world, it's 2 terms. You got the point now. And if at all, constitution need to be renewed 3 terms, you don't go again you don't go again. You got the point now. So if we are saying that we are a democracy, why do we not follow the popular system of democracy in the world that the people adopt? America, you go 2 terms. After 2 terms, you don't need to sit there, except you go for 1 term, then you can fight in for 2 terms. But after 2 terms, you don't start again as a president in America. You got the point. And that is the system, and those are the people that are called the father of democracy, and they are striving towards democracy in other countries. So if we say that they are the model, and in Britain and other countries, why do we not eliminate? So the problem we have is just that we are in a monarchy. We have to first accept a democratic monarchy, that we are there, and we say that we are. See, people are tired because the psychological, trauma that people have had as far as election is concerned is enormous. That people just decide to just sleep and look at the country. That's why most Cameroonians are going. It's even sad that maybe that most of the people that are going out of the country is Cameroonians. Why are we going out? If we have amenities, we have the infrastructures, we have all what it takes in this country. Maybe let me bet you that
so are youth in other youth in other African countries? Do it sound exaggerative as political analysts?
No, we don't sound exaggerative because I've been in Equatorial Guinea, I've been in Nigeria, I've been in some countries, and it's called that most of the youth.
I beg to pardon.
Wait, no, let me land. You take the mic.
Youth in Nigeria travel 5 times.
Let me come.
Youth in Burkina Faso.
Let me come.
Youth in Senegal travel.
Let me come. Again, my point clearly.
If you go to most African countries, you find the West African guys.
Let me speak.
Trek for distance, doctor.
Let me speak.
Doctor, this thing.
Let me talk.
Doctor, we were talking about the electoral.
Let me finish my point. I'll give you the mic. Let me finish my point.
Doctor, you have taken.
I'll finish my point.
Okay.
He's the one.
Okay.
Let me tell. Why am I saying? What am I? No, it's not biased. Let me tell you the truth. And what am I saying? He got me wrong because most countries on youth are traveling because of opportunity costs. They want to get more opportunities for jobs, but most Cameroonians, let me tell you, 80% are more for frustration. That's what I'm saying to make it. The point I'm trying to make that you cut me short. You got the point now. Some countries they're not traveling because sometimes because they want to go to other countries. Some countries because of business purposes. Some countries because in Cameroon, let me tell you,
we are talking about greener pastures.
Yes. Let me come before. Let me just end. I've met more than 5 different youth some from UK, some from Germany that have come to this country to invest. And they told me personally that the economic climate of this country is unfavorable for them youth.
Doctor, we still have foreigners who are investing in Cameroon.
Allow me to talk.
No, when you say you mentioned 5, that we have more than 100.
The 5 that I'm talking. I'm talking about there are many. I'm talking about those who I've spoken with them.
Doctor,
and there are many.
Foreigners investing in
There are many of them.
Doctor,
that when you are talking about,
have you seen foreigners?
Excuse me. You are talking about foreigners.
Yes.
How many foreigners are investing in Cameroon? Let me ask you. Norway and South, is it commission federal if you are a foreigner?
Norway and South.
Excuse me now. Let me talk.
You've asked a question.
Let me talk. Even in Douala you are talking about is the sewage drainage program, the garbage drainage program in Douala. Even you as a foreigner give you the climatic condition for you to come and invest. Let me tell you, go and verify. Most investors that Cameroon are coming for, they don't come to Cameroon because of the condition for ourselves. Corruptions, investments, all types of things like that. Let me tell you,
that is what is attracting foreign investors.
Go now and find out in Cameroon.
That what is Doctor? No, I will not.
Go now and find out.
Let me put other on my panel.
How many new investors have come to Cameroon that you know? Let me ask you a question. No, don't be figures.
Doctor, you asked me a question. The last economic forum that was held
we have a caller on the line. Hello and welcome to the program.
Hello.
Yes, welcome to the program. Bring down the volume of your television set, please.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. Who are you and where are you calling us from?
Oh, I'm calling from Yaoundé.
Okay.
I'm John Dawei. Yeah. I'm following your program, and can they allow the doctor to express his feeling? Because as if you were stopping or blocking him from speaking the truth. I don't know. Please allow him to say something.
Just to correct something, it is a political debate, and there is a lot of flaring tempers. But as moderator, I'll try to put calm to the situation. Now, I think it is over-articulating when you say that we are stopping the doctor from saying the truth.
What I want to tip in is that if Eleka could be handled well, if Eleka could be given an open hand to manage the election, I think Cameroonians will have confidence in the system. Because now the problem is that of lack of confidence.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for that caller. I think Mr. Jedone let the doctor land. It's a political program, dear viewers, and sometimes we have our resource persons acting overboard or ultra-virus. But I'm going to do my possible best to put in my expertise to use in making sure that there is relative calm. Mr. Jedone, I'm coming to you, but the doctor, maybe you round off. We have somebody advocating for you already.
I'm trying to give a point. That's why we say I'm striving, because sometimes if you don't get my point clearly, you may misunderstand me, and our viewer may not understand what I'm trying to come out of. When we are talking about the youth and the leaders of tomorrow, what are the political environment that will give the youth? What are the social environment that will give the youth? What are the economic environment that will give the youth? I will try to say to my other panelists that I've had Cameroonians, many of them, that they have said they have come to Cameroon with money in how to invest. You got the point? Yes. And they are unable to invest because the environment. For example, we have had a lot of cases of people who have invested in Cameroon. I don't want to call the names here. Yeah, and because they were not in the political party or the CPDM, they crippled their business. There are many of them like that they can attest to that. And that is not a good system in the country. A system of the country support everybody to make sure that you also boost the economy of the country, because any country that the system or the laws does not empower the youth to do what they want to do. For example, if you go to Nigeria, if you want to invest in Nigeria, to what I know now is that they give you 5 years of investment without no tax, so that you can put the investment well, and the government start to tax you based on that. And if Cameroon can see some of these things and say it's good for the youth, adopt it.
Does this tell
And let me tell you, maybe I don't know what to tell you, but let me tell you, one of the fears is that I know with some of the barons in the government is that when the youths start to do companies and factories in Cameroon and they have political financial power, they can overrule them, overtake them, or they can overrule them. You got the point now. So what are they fighting? They're also fighting the youth not to have monetary power, so they can overpower them in their political career. So these are some things that the youth also have to see, that if in any country you want to succeed, you need to have a financial power, to start. For example, you want to be a president in Cameroon, say give 30 million. How many you can do for 30 million? How many youth from 25 countries? So those things are very important. Okay. We need the youth.
We don't have the luxury of time, doctor. We don't have the luxury of time. What do you have to say? Ask doctor a question, and is it in tandem with what you were asking?
I got worried when doctor said he has met some foreigners who have come to Cameroon.
And you mentioned investors.
Yes,
as well.
Investors. Yes, investors who have come to Cameroon and there was no way to invest. Doctor has given a number 5. How many foreign investors are in Cameroon? That is a question not to answer for now. Doctor, to be honest, we are clamoring for elections. I don't want us to divert the topic of today. We are clamoring for the voice of the voters' card. Will the voters' card voice be heard as Cameroonians want it to be heard? What should we do
so that... But a while ago you were arguing about this investors thing.
Yes, okay. Good. I want us to understand that the atmosphere for investing in Cameroon is not as tedious as we are amplifying. We had the last economic forum that took place in Douala. We saw many investors came in. We had the trade fair that took place in Yaoundé. You saw investors, you saw people opening enterprise. The government has failed in some certain reasons, but the government is doing what the government can do. We will not say in all. If we say the government has failed in total, it's an overstatement.
Okay, this one says, I'm writing from Limbe. It is only in Cameroon where we can talk of 2 kinds of oppositions. Some say it's a one-party democracy. Some who want to take over power and others who just want to share power. Have you ever asked yourself, Madam the Moderator, if parties like UPC especially have presidential ambitions? Their one-time leader, Augustine Frederick Kodok, was always a member of government, and that seemed to have been enough for him. I'm writing from Limbe, and I intend to keep my personality anonymous. Okay, that is fine. This one says, unlike, was it supposed to be news that the voters' card has no power in Cameroon? Asked Dr. Dat. Going hunting without even a spear is waste of time. Knowing that councillors are voting, senators, and the people are going to be voting for their opposition candidates, you are going in without enough political gambling. I just hope a natural president will appoint whatever. I think there is a mixed up somewhere in the sense. This Stephanie says, this very Cameroon, I remember in 1981, my grandparents sat me down and told me a day is coming in this country where a lot of people will spend time, applauding, a lot of people applauding the president, whatever that means. I didn't quite get, but if you feel that I didn't read the comment well, then you can please resend the comment. Albert Alberto Amingwa says, the last person to leave this country should remember to switch off the light and leave the key at the nearest neighboring country, my pays, Cameroon, where I love this program. It is really thought-provoking. My regards to Dr. In Green and to the other gentleman. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Thank you so much. The name is Dr. Christian Bear and the other gentleman is Mr. Dedone Ekane. Maybe any of you take, before we took leave of...
You see, I want to...
maybe you took the mic from me when I
I'm moderator at the site where the angle of the camera
one of the those that you think that you know, you see, when you have when I used to say that this country is the monarchy, it's not a democratic country. So those people are clamoring for the voters' vote to be heard. They are in a dilemma. Now, when you see people in the CPDM already think that Paul Biya is the natural candidate, what does it tell you? If you are a right-thinking Cameroonian, if you are opposition, and then they are saying that hoping that Paul Biya is a live president, which means the mechanism have been put in place for that.
Who says that?
You have heard the CPDM saying that. You say that our natural candidate is a natural.
Don't you think you're picking stones?
No, I'm not picking stones. I'm learning from media. I've learned from people, social guidance, people have gathered, and people are even talking on the street. It's not in news. They say it's a live candidate, it's a this thing, and so that's why I say that's why I'm saying motion. But then let us talk about democracy. What is democracy, first of all? You know, democracy in this sense is change. Democracy in real sense is change.
It's the people.
It's the people bringing change to their community, bringing change to their country. That's really democracy in short. Now, one of the that person said, don't you think that for the voters not to be heard, or the voters this thing is not to be heard, is it a news? We cannot bring a voters, you know, in any country that want a change is needed. It needs strong institutions. Our institutions are very weak in the level whereby they cannot initiate or serve as catalysts for change to come. It needs people with good sound mindset. People who have, you know, some countries, people have already had their financial resources on the plan that you cannot bribe them. When they stand for one, they stand for one. Now we need such people in Cameroon. That's why I tell that the intellectual community in Cameroon have failed. Because
somebody is reacting to what you have said.
Yes, those are the people that they need to stand and tell the government that Article 29 says that before you go to any government institution, you have to declare access. Are you doing that? They stand on those laws, push the government to respect the law. When they tell the government to respect the law, then you can talk about change.
Okay, Mukete Su says, I'm enjoying that young man on the panel. Maybe to have a young person talk politics with so much integrity, I admire him, so I dove my heart. As for Doctor is wisdom personified. Thank you so much. Dr. Christian Berry is his name, and Dedone Kane, the other gentleman whom you're giving accolades to. I'm writing from Tico, all the way from Tico. How is a gateway doing this evening? This one says, my name is Ramsey Mabel. Where I'm coming from doesn't matter, but I have a burden in my heart this evening. I stumbled on this program, and trust me, I'm enjoying it. I want to say that Namanwe he know the fear mosquito for Kondegi get time for politics. As for me, all I want is for them to reduce the price of gari and sugar, because that is all I can afford. Fried rice self is a luxury in this Cameroon. Cameroon is impossible. Thank you so much. Nanja says, very good. We need more teams like those you have on the set, Mabel, to bring the change that we need. But the question is, their voices here on TV, is it going to affect the change, Mr. Duduni? You were writing some points, and somebody thinks that building a team like you and Doctor is going to affect the change. You have been voting for as long as I've known you to be. Now, what change has it affected, and what is going to cause the difference now?
Good. I have been voting. As an individual, is minimal. As per 100 compared to the number of Cameroonians is minimal. That is why I want to react on so many issues, but I'm not given the opportunity. That is why I wanted, first of all, to caution or to counsel that my sister, Sandrine, first. Sandrine, if you are tired of election in Cameroon, I'm assuring you this year, 2025, next year, that please get registered and vote. We cannot be tired and then we are not doing anything. We'll give an opportunity for the old daddies and mommies to be eating what belongs to us. It is our responsibility and it is our right. Maybe Cameroonians not giving opportunity to invest is a problem. Cameroonians are investing. These are overstatements in media that would show as if Cameroon is... I will always quote the Minister of Territorial Administration, His Excellency Dr. Paul Atanganji. Cameroon is a state of law. Whether we like it, whether we jump over it, Cameroon is a state of law. I'm not a CPDM, I will not express, but Cameroon has legal procedure and respect both national and international rectification or convention that respect law. Now, my problem is, Doctor is getting worried over CPDM saying President Paul Biya is the natural candidate. What do you want them to say? President Paul Biya is a fair candidate? No. these are political slogans that make political party to be buoyant. Now let opposition look for a candidate. Somebody has just mentioned Lawan Bako. I want to say that is why I am saying that deficiency in opposition, we are looking for all possible means that the opposition becomes what is capable to unseat the giant that is in it today, because there is no other way that we can do this legally, democratically, because Cameroon has all the institution to enforce this change with our vote. I am emphasizing this because the topic that we are settling on is the voice of the voters.
But if you say the giants in it today, and
yes,
the doctor says if the people find Biya as the veritable candidate, they can cast their votes. Does it go a long way to say that you disagree?
Yes.
Even if they find
Yes.
Mr. Biya to be the credible and the veritable candidate?
You cannot say the people find Mr. Biya with the situation on ground.
But the ruling party has been winning.
The ruling party has been winning. There is time for everything under heaven. I am saying 2025 is the time for change.
And if the ruling party has been winning, it means that people are giving their vote to the ruling party.
Good. Mabel, I gave you a statistics here. You can go to election. I said the last presidential election of 2007, we had about 9 million people who registered. We have about 3 million people who participated in that election. Maybe, and you say the people of Cameroon. That is why we, the church, civil society, opposition political parties, and even me, I'm emphasizing that Cameroonians, please, I don't want to say youth, Cameroonians, if you are fed up in the management, in the policy, in the administration, in the governance of this country, please do to yourself this good. Get a voter's card. Not only getting a voter's card, participate. Let your vote count. I am emphasizing in this that maybe I am emphasizing the number of registered and participants will make a very big change. It will make a very big change. How can we change the poor administration, the old administration, if not through this democratic process? If not through this I said we will not find ourselves in that dungeon whereby we say no, they have been stealing our vote. Change is constant, and I'm assuring Cameroonian population that if they adhere to the voice of the church, the voice of the imams, and every other person that are calling on us to vote, let them do it, because it will help us a lot. 40 years in bondage, we will change it this year.
40 years in bondage, we will change it this year. What is the truism in this statement?
40 years in captivity, 40 years in a total disarray and total mess. I like the way my co-panelist is talking, but I'm just crying for him, because he's really a good preacher, but the vote that we have been clamoring all this while does not have a voice in Cameroon. The vote is voiceless, because there are people that they have this final say. Let me ask you, maybe you look in the upper part of the parliament. They used to say that the president have, even the Senate, the president have a number of people that have to appoint it. Go to American Senate. Everybody you are a Senate will appoint, it must be voted by the people. Nobody appoints you. When you appoint you, what do you call entitled? You got the point now. Nobody appoints you. So that people that say in the same democratic country that we say that we want to vote people to a parliament. Those people are the people that they come there through the will of the people. And when you are there with the people, means you stand for the people. And when you are voted, when you are appointed, you don't more stand against the people. You stand with the person that appointed you there. And that is a mix-up in the parliament that we call that a democratic parliament, that people have to speak. And those people like agents, that they have to stand and fight for the person that appoint them there. And that's why they will use any means possible, maybe money, threat or whatsoever to make people to feel that if you do something wrong, it may be. That's why sometimes you see the parliament become hot when some opposition party they will take on the stage and will become so harsh or so agitative in when they want to put in some particular point, and you see another party start to wash them down because what they have canvassed in the federal parliament that was supposed to be a structure in a country that stands from the electoral point by the will. Talking the will of the people. Okay. They are addressing the situation.
Doctors should remember that the president of the Constitutional Court in Senegal was appointed, and he rejected the constitutional amendment of the former president. These are reality that it is but normal. I am saying, doctor, even if the president of the Constitutional Council of Cameroon is an appointee by the president, the chairman of Elecam is appointed by the president. I am saying they elect the voters in Cameroon and say, come 2025, our vote will count because there is a change this 2025.
The problem I have with you is that why you were saying we, you with who? Which youth?
Cameroonian voters.
How many youth have you sympathized with their situation now at the talk?
That is what I
let me tell you,
that is why you see reaction. That is why you see reaction.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mabel, please.
Yes.
If we want to sensitize our population, we are called about Senegal. The structure of Senegal and the political structure and the social structure of Senegal is different from Cameroon. That's first you have to understand about that. It's not the way we talk about Cameroon. In the way that they respect their laws and they follow their laws. You quote Atanganji said that Cameroon is a rule of law, is a state of law. I asked you, did they themselves respect the law of the country? Let me ask you the question. I can't remember in Yaoundé there was a tumor where one opposition sent me a statement and he was clamoring and uttering that. Did they themselves respect the law of the nation? Let me give you one example. No, one example. What the crisis we are facing about, have they adjusted it? The parliament was told to the parliament have they adjusted it? Those are the control of the law, and they are the nation of the law that they have to. When the people are in trouble, they have to adjust it. Even in the parliament, why have they blocked it? And they say, "Corona is the law of law." Let me calm you. No, please. You are youth. We want the youth to be conscious. Yes. We want the youth to be intentional.
Just the youth?
I'm talking about the young, the aspiring and the patriotic Cameroonians.
It means you're retired.
No, I'm not retired. I'm talking about we be intentional and we be patriotic in our action towards bringing change. And that means that we have to understand the troubled waters of our country and how to deal with those troubled waters. Yeah. If we don't come out and we strategy on how to do those troubled waters, all what we are saying as youth is concerned, our activities is concerned, is a mirage.
Doctor, the strategy is for you Cameroonians to get registered in the electoral list and participate.
Let me give you.
That is the strategy.
Let me give one point.
But don't you think?
Let me give you one point. You are supposed to tell the government this one.
Doctor, now
the government. Let me come.
In order not to get the viewers mixed up.
Yes.
He said the strategy. You have raised a question, the $1 million question about.
Maybe my own strategy will be that they used to rebel voting, so that the government should make a credible electoral process that the youth are confident on it, and they know that my vote will speak, my vote will be heard, my vote will be the change that I needed. If that the youth feels that they want to be changed, to me sitting here, I'm not talking like a prophecy, but you will see that in 2025 go to a mess.
The analogy between what happened with the MRC, the SDF, we have seen situations or eras where political parties boycott elections.
Yeah.
And this was no instrument toward changing.
No. Let me drop what you are saying.
I get you.
Drop on what I said.
That is the error.
That is the error.
CDM has 157 MPs in the lower house. That is the error that the opposition are doing, because when you canvass your citizens of Cameroonians to go to the field to go and vote, and after you say you boycott election, you have given the other parties to a platform for them to fraud the election. Them they were rebelling against election.
Excuse me, when they go in and already they have already cast their vote, if you don't come, the person who is in charge of the election and they are manipulating them, they'll tell that, well, you not come back. Many people have, instead of voting you, they are
Doctor, please, I don't want Cameroonians to keep on complaining of bad government. I don't want Cameroonians to keep on complaining
of bad roads, everything. Yes. It speaks itself about governance. It speaks itself about bad governance.
And the only way we can change
the truth. Still on my panel, gentlemen, you are still on my panel. The question on the chessboard is, on the debate podium is, we have seen cases
Yes.
In the era where MRC boycotted elections, and it's been the case even with the SDF.
Yes.
What was a palpable result?
That's what I'm saying. That
And a representative majority of parliament of seats in the parliament.
That's what I'm saying. That boycotting election.
MRC has no member in the parliament.
It's not a good.
Those are the repercussions.
You got the point now. It's not a good problem because you also open.
Those are the repercussions.
You also open the other party a blank check for them to defraud the election. You got the point now. Let me give you an example. I was so embarrassed when I go to Equatorial Guinea. I stayed in Equatorial Guinea for more than almost a month without no light cut. And Cameroon is giving light to Equatorial Guinea, and I'm here in my house.
And the president of Guinea Equatorial stayed there for long.
And please let me talk, please. We are talking in a panel. And if we are talking with you, allow somebody to speak. Now, imagine that in my own, you're a Cameroonian. I'm a Cameroonian, right? How do I feel in Equatorial Guinea? In a facility that is coming from my own country with a leadership that I believe that they should be responsible, accountable, and it's the country of law. You got the point? I become so embarrassed because I believe that I should enjoy the amenities more in my own country rather than enjoying something I'm supposed to enjoy my own country out. We have been in this panel talking like we're off. You got the point?
Maybe you say,
Gentlemen, it is at this point where we have to drop the curtains. Regrettably, we are going to be having a part 2 of this program. We have lots of comments. We apologize, dear televiewers, the viewing family, if we were unable to read your comments. That's because the debate was so heated between Dr. Christian, who was pouring a lot of knowledge, and Mr. Ekane here, who was also at his end, making sure that your horizon is stretched. We are going to bring in a part 2, hopefully tomorrow and or next week, but we want to take leave of you right now because we are against time. You are going to be giving your closing remark. What do you have to say as far as the topic is concerned, and to the televiewers watching you?
Fellow Cameroonians, with this great opportunity, I want to encourage everybody to get registered. Not only getting registered, participate by casting your vote. Your vote can make a change. Your vote can make a change. The former president of America, Barack Obama, once said, we believe we can make a change. Yes, change we can make with our voters card. Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you so much. We can make a change with the voters card. Let us see if Doctor is by any way going to change the card or change the elements of the chessboard by saying that the voters card can speak, or rioting, rebelling, and committing to voters' apathy.
The voter card have never spoken in Cameroon, and I don't think that this time around will be different. But I want to urge the government not to put fear in the life of the citizens. Cameroon are living now with fear, a lot of fear. They don't know the uncertainty because they're afraid. It's just like what my partner just said, that in some countries you see that they can go, when they discover that the election is malpractice election, they can go on the ground to protest, which is their basic right in any electoral or democratic country. Is their basic right. So they should not deprive Cameroonians of doing what is right and feeling that because they are there, they are the right person and are doing what they are doing is right. It's when you have opposition, a strong opposition in the country, that the country move forward. Because the opposition is not to give it, it's not a checker to check you whether you are doing what is right or what you are doing what is wrong. And if you can accept that opposition, that's when you can do things right. And if big Cameroonian that the government help their citizens by allowing them to make sure that you respect the law and give them the right also to make sure that they also respect the law. Thank you.
By respecting the law and giving them the right that they too respect the law. I think that is the complexity that we have struggled in our various voices to settle on the panel today. We want to thank you, dear televiewers, for squeezing time out of your very busy schedules to stay tuned to this program. We enjoyed and envied all the comments, all the questions, and all the contributions that you made to the program, which made it even richer. We want to thank our resource persons, Mr. Ekane and Dr. Christian Bear, for spicing up. I mean, it was a beautiful combo having them. And for all of you who thought that they were a beautiful tag team, we thank you and looking forward to having them some other time. In the meantime, the news with Larry Tengene is up next, and stay tuned to other programs that are going to be brought to you courtesy High Television. Bye-bye.